Welcome back to the channel, guys. My name is the Talker Gamer. Today we'll be doing a review on Bendy and the Ink Machine. Now, if you guys don't know this game, it was very popular about 5 years ago with Super Horror Bros. Alright, he did over 100 YouTube videos discussing lore, fan theories, everything. Go check out his channel. Really good videos of Bendy and the Ink Machine. Now, I would like to preface this video by saying there will be spoilers about Bendy and the Ink Machine. So, if you don't want that, click off. But let's just start off with a general summary of the game. Now, the game takes place around the 1950s. You and your friend had started our cartoon company, and your character you came up with was named Bendy. And the whole cartoon was pretty much just Bendy's adventures with friends such as Boris, Alice Angel, and just other characters. Alright, and you guys had a studio together. Now eventually, you, Henry, decided to take a step away from the studio in order to enjoy things with the wife and stuff, because Joey Drew was overworking you and the other employees, and you hadn't seen your wife for multiple times, days. You wouldn't see her. So, eventually, Joey Drew decides to invite you back. He says, "Hey, I've got something I want to show you in the shop." So, you come back, and the storyline follows your exploration around it and this thing called the Ink Machine, and how the studio just changed, and what Joey Drew did to people inside the studio. Now, I'm not going to sit here and spoil the game. Alright, if you want to see gameplay, there's like a whole playthrough on my channel, or I can discuss it if you want more. But let's get into the actual review. Now, just based off this introduction alone, I hope you guys can tell I'm going to be glazing this game a little bit. Alright, it was a game I was looking forward to playing. I'm going to glaze. But I would like to preface this by saying I think the story mode is insane. Alright, it had a very interesting story. A lot of times stories are kind of like, the other stories I'm playing are kind of like Pikmin, Survive, whatever. Bendy and the Ink Machine, it was a horror game. Alright, so I was spending a lot of jump scares, and it wasn't like that. It was more like I never knew what was going to happen next. Every time it was like, oh, I just beat this. Does that mean this game done? Oh no! This is happening now. And there were a lot of twists, Now, eventually it got a little annoying, because I swear I fell through the floor, 4 or 5 times. Like, can we not do that? But the plot was very good. It had a lot of highs and lows, and a lot of decisions. For example, there was one part in chapter 3, where you gotta choose. To the left, it was called the devil. To the right, it was called the angel. If you went through whichever door you went through, it gave you a completely different chapter 3 experience. I went through the devil side and got an achievement. But you can go through the angel side and it's completely different. Alright, and you can't go back through both. Once you make your decision, it locks you out from the other door, because I tried to do that. Alright, so that was something that I really enjoyed. Alright, now, another thing that I would have to say about the plot that I did not enjoy, though, was figuring out how did all these ink creatures come to exist? What happened, I understood what was going on at the time, and whenever characters would talk, they would have dialogue that would explain it. But some of the characters wouldn't talk, or there were some things that were just felt very unexplained, and so there were these voice tapes that you needed to find. But it was often hard to tell if I had collected them all. What I would have really loved was let's say, if I would hit the pause button at the top right, it would have the voice recorder as a symbol, and then 1 out of 5, meaning I've listened to one of the tapes in that chapter, or 2 out of 5, Which I would also, I'm gonna take a sidebar here. I will be doing a second review after I play through the full game again, making sure I listen to all of the audios, and going to this thing called the archives, which is a secret chapter that you unlock after you beat the game. So, I'll be doing that. Anyways, back to the review. The voice recordings were kind of irritating because I didn't know when I listened to them all or not. I feel like sometimes I missed out on the game because I might have missed them. I went onto the Wikipedia after playing the game, and it was 5 or 6 on the 5th chapter that I only got 1, So that was kind of saddening. But the lore was very shocking. It was very twisting. A very unique lore, It wasn't like a lot of games just survive, or it's very similar. This one was very good, I was surprised by every turn of the game. I was like, whoa, I did not expect that at all. This is amazing. This is great, I love that. Now, let's move on past the lore. Let's go into, let's say graphics, alright? The graphical effect of this game is not realistic, alright? I'm gonna be, well, it's not like human realistic, you know? It's not gonna be like Red Dead Redemption 2. But it has this very interesting effect, almost like Borderlands if I would describe it, where it's cartoonish, and it feels like it doesn't set a demand on your PC for it to look good. I feel like the game looks good without being, oh, super demanding graphics, you know. That's something that I really enjoyed, you know. I loved the cartoon looks, alright. And just because it didn't look ultra realistic doesn't mean it wasn't any less scary. You know, I got jump scared plenty of times. Yeah, I'm not trying to get jump scared, bro. Holy crap. I like crapping my parents if I did. Just gonna go this way. You know, I really love the graphics. Honestly, I never had any glitchy effects or, you know, things missing. You know, I never really had any issues with the graphics. And honestly, they were able to make very gory scenes and do not so gory, you know. Instead of being blood and guts, you know, which would be, oh, I can't post this certain places, it's just ink, you know. So I really appreciate that. And I guess we could bring in the, you know, intensity of graphics. I mean, like, there were some graphic scenes, I'm not gonna lie to you, you know, there was, like, a lot of chopped open people, because this girl named Alice was using their body parts in order to improve herself, you know. So that was kind of crazy. I going off of graphics, what would we want to do next? I would say gameplay is what we should do next. Alright. I would often say that the gameplay felt very smooth. I'm not gonna lie, there were a lot of times in these puzzles, I would sit there and I was completely stumped. I had no clue how to solve these puzzles, and I'd get very irritated. But the game always kind of gives you a general direction of what to do, and if you just fiddled around with the game enough, you can eventually figure out what the puzzle was, which is super nice. So, I mean, I think there was only like one puzzle I got stuck on. Everything else was like in the middle, you know. It wasn't like, oh, I'm done the puzzle, but it wasn't, oh my gosh, let me draw up an equation. You know, it was right in the middle, which I really liked. But there were a couple that were kind of like, why is this a puzzle, you know? Like, this was one time, you got this ink blob from this bad guy. It's the first time ever. And there's these machines you can put into, and they generate items. And I just kept generating a cup, because I didn't know on the side, you can crank it to different items. And so that was kind of like embarrassing, you know? Things like that. Now, sorry, I almost forgot a minute. Something that I liked about the gameplay was a lot of like hidden things you can do to get achievements, or, you know, like little hidden things. Like, for example, I saw this like photo booth thing, and it was like, put your face here, and, you know, it took a picture, and I just was jokingly, I walked over there and I got an achievement, you know, and it took a picture. It was kind of funny, you know. So I like that, you know. Sometimes when you're playing games, it feels like the achievements were kind of pushed aside. You know, sometimes you'll be like, oh, get 50 kills, get 100 kills, you know, boom, there you go, you won. But this one, it was like, it was, you know, it was like you had to spend time thinking about how to get these achievements, you know, and you actually play through the game. You know, and boss fights, there were a lot of, well, actually, there were, let me think here. Chapter 1, there wasn't any boss. Chapter 3, there was a lot of boss fights. Chapter 3, 4, and 5, there were boss fights, alright? And those ones, you know, each one of them were a little bit hard. Each one, well, there was one I didn't die, but most of them I would die. Most of them I would die at. But, you know, after dying, I just respawned and I went back to the fight. It wasn't like I was going to rage or anything. I just had to adjust to the fight. And I'm not really exactly like a pro at fighting. Like, you know, I'm not an ex-Elden Ring player. And nor am I like Goku. Like, you know, I had to adjust. And I will admit, though, the fighting mechanics are kind of hard and bending the machine. You get 3 hits until you die, and you can swing at people, but sometimes you get surrounded and you instantly die, which is really annoying. Oh, and puzzles, talking about annoying. One of the things I hated was sometimes they would take away your weapons, and you have to sneak past these bad guys to get stuff, and it was so irritating, because all of, like, the chapter 5 puzzles that I was telling you about, where I missed all the voice recordings, was that. And it felt like I would move an inch, and then these guys would see me, and they would follow me around the whole time. And you could, I hated puzzles like that. I want to be able to kill the guys. I don't have to hide from them. I hated those puzzles so much. When you have to be like sneaky. I hate stealth quests. So that's just a personal thing. Personal vendetta, whatever. I hate stealth quests. You know, so that was just irritating. Now, gameplay, while we're here, I like to mention this as just a neutral thing. I got about 5 to 6 hours. Does that sound about right? I think that sounds about right. 5 to 6 hours of gameplay out of it. And I beat the game after about a week of streaming, which was very surprising, you know. But there's a lot of replayability with that gameplay, you know. There's a whole new chapter to unlock. You can go back through and play the game, and there's new, like, you can look at the walls and read this ink with this thing that you unlocked in chapter 5, so you have to go back through chapter 1 and 4 to see all this stuff on the wall, which would be, excuse me, really interesting, you know. That, I'm very excited, you know, it has replayability. Like, there's some games you'll beat, and if you play it again, it's the exact same game. So I really like the replayability and the fact that I want to replay it so I can understand the game, you know. Music-wise, it was okay. You know, I don't remember the music really standing out. Oh, the puzzles did stand out, though. That's why I loved. Oh my gosh, the puzzles were so good. Sorry, I forgot to mention. Like, some of the puzzles were in it, but some of them were really good. Like, there was this one, you were in the music section of the, not factory, studio. And you had to play these certain instruments in a certain order to unlock the door. And it was like, it was so fire. I loved it so much. Yeah, like, so what you had to do is you had to go up, you had to turn on the projector, and then play the instruments in the order he wanted, and then it unlocked the door, and then you turned off the valve inside that door, and then it unlocked the main door you went to. Sometimes it'd be like 3 steps just to get 1 step forward, but whatever. Now, I feel like you really can't end a review without talking about, you know, the music, not really notable, so I really can't mention much here, you know. But I would, because I really didn't, I'm thinking, the music didn't stand out. I don't even remember the music, you know? So I'll put it on the background of this video and you guys can decide for yourself. But it didn't really stand out or anything, you know? But I would love to say, real quick, about the ending. Alright, so the ending, you think you escaped the machine, alright? And you walk into Joey Drew's house. Alright, this is a huge spoiler. You walk into Joey Drew's house, alright? And he's like, hey, I don't think you'll be here for another hour. Just like you, Henry. You're always... Actually, instead of me recreating it, I'll put it here from my stream. What is happening right now? Is this our house? We have a terrible house.
Henry, so soon. I didn't expect you for another hour yet. Now you're just trying to impress me. But I know.
Joey Drew?
You have questions. You always do. The only important question is this. Who are we, Henry? I thought I knew who I was. But the success starved me. Nothing left but lines on a page. In the end, we followed 2 different roads of our own making. You, a lovely family. Me, a crooked empire. And my road burned. I let our creations become my life. The truth is, you were always so good at pushing, old friend. Pushing me to do the right thing. You should have pushed a little harder. Henry, come visit the old workshop. There's something I need to show you.
No! It's a whole loop! No.
All right, Joey. I'm here. Let's see if we can find what you wanted me to see.
No, bro, I'm gonna be so angry. I might actually cry if this is it. There has to be a way he can escape. That's not fair to Henry. There has to be an end. There has to be... Wait. Did we escape? Okay.
Tell me another one, Uncle Joey.
And that to me was an insane ending. I had never expected that to happen. Henry's in a constant loop. Nothing you can do will ever save him. And that's something that, although I think it was a great ending, I am a little bit irritated. I'm like, how did he get stuck in this loop? Why can't I save him? I wanted to save Henry. Let me save Henry. Is there a way I can get out of the loop? Is there another ending? And according to my quick Google search, there's really not. And that's irritating to me, because I wanted Henry to have a good life. The man didn't do anything wrong. Jerry Druce is a jerk. So, I will be playing through the game again. And if you like this review, maybe subscribe to the channel or go follow my Twitch. And you can see the live streams. But, this game, I would say, is a must play. Alright? It is one of the few games I have graced across in my 2 to 3... Well, actually, I haven't been playing many story mode games, so I really can't say much here. But in my 2 to 3 years of playing on stream, this is one of those games that I actually wanted to beat the story. I haven't beat many stories because I sometimes get burnt out. Like, most of the time when it comes to stories, if they're really... Like, I just get burnt out. In this game, I didn't. I streamed it every day for, like, a week, and I never streamed games back to back. Because I was just so excited to learn more about this game. It was just so well written. I bought it for $5 because it was on sale, because I told myself I would budget. Because spending money on games just isn't justifiable anymore. But if I had the money to spend on it, I would have bought it full price. And there's a third game coming out. I might buy that. You know, I bought every single game that they have right now. I got both Bendy games and then the Boris one. And I will be playing through all of them. Alright, trying to figure out if there's any lore. But I would say this is must play. Do your research on it. Watch some Super Horror Bros like I suggested. Alright. He's an insanely good creator. I'll be tagging him below and putting, you know, like highlighting him at the beginning of the video. Alright. Go check him out. And I think that's all. Yeah. If you have any questions, comment below and I'll be answering them, or I'll answer them with a short YouTube short, you know, who knows, or a TikTok, whatever. So just comment below any questions you might have about the game or suggestions for a future video. I would love suggestions for future videos, and I will make the video, I promise, if I can. Alright? Thank you for watching. If you haven't already, please consider subscribing or liking the video, you know. If you don't want to, that's fine. Thank you for watching, you know. I hope you all have a great day, and I will see you in the next one. Peace out.